for you.
Oh, amazing. That's perfect timing.
Thanks, Mr. Kimball. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we're good.
This is a selfie just to show you that we know how to connect with your kids. We're hip, we're cool.
I'm gonna go to gym, but first, let me take this.
That's right. I'm gonna click through.
So, here we are. Here's the 5th grade team. You're probably wondering, you probably would know pretty much who teaches what, but we'll just reiterate that for you. Madam Botham and Madam Keel, we teach social studies and English language arts. And we should probably be standing like this, because I share kids with this guy and she shares kids with that gal.
That girl, not some guy.
And Madam Scold and Mr. Talon, they teach science, French, language arts, and we all teach math. I should probably have let you guys introduce your own
Our own selves. You did a really good job, though, Madam Botham.
But I love you all so much that I like to do it too. The first thing we're going to talk about, I'm sure you've noticed that the schedule is a little bit different this year. So we have a rolling day 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 schedule. So no longer is music on Monday, music is on day whichever.
Depending on your
So,
class.
depending on your class and your kids' specialist schedule. So, luckily, on our websites, we each have a sidebar that says weekly schedule, where you can go, and the whole year is planned out, which day, which date is which number, and then you can also see which day denotes which specialist, along with media center, and then teacher or partner teacher days. So these kids have a lot to keep straight, but they've done a really great job so far. Everyone's been where they needed to be.
Yeah, it's not as bad as it sounds, is the takeaway.
Yep. And it's great for specialists too, because then, for example, if we keep missing Mondays, it's not always the specialist that has Monday that misses the time with the kids.
The shoes in the locker, you want to talk about that?
Oh, right. One thing that would be really great, because the schedule does rotate and it's not consistent, is if you have an extra pair of shoes to wear to PE, to have your 5th grader keep that in their locker. That way, if they didn't keep track, they're always ready for PE no matter what. A good strategy. Organizational tools, that is Madam School.
So by now you probably have seen the beautiful Trapper Keeper that your child has decorated. And in that Trapper Keeper, the students keep the agenda, and any information sheet that goes home will be kept in the Trapper Keeper. There is like 2 front pockets. So what goes back to school is in the back pocket, front pocket. Back to school, front pocket, like the homework, math homework will be in the front pocket. And if we have any important sheets to give to you, it will be in the other pocket. The agenda, you have seen that also, and oh yes, something that is important. Every Tuesday they will write down the assignment. We show them the homework list, and the date that you will see, it's the day it's due. Because when we wrote on Tuesday, they looked at me like I was talking another language. They were very surprised. Say, yeah, day 2 is when you have this SLM page, whatever. So they looked at me because in 4th grade it's different, I know. Okay.
Because our goal is for them to we give them the homework list on, we're not going to rotate the homework list. It's always going to be Tuesdays. So you can count on getting the homework list on Tuesdays. We felt like it would just be too hard to keep track of a rotating homework list. And so we'll give them the homework list on Tuesday for the following week. But our expectation is that homework is due on an almost daily basis, if not a daily basis. And that will be different for students who work with Madame Dardis. She has a different way of tracking homework or giving homework. And also students who are working with Madame Myers, I believe she's going to have her own way of doing it. So when we're talking about the homework list, then we're talking about students in our 4th, 5th grade classrooms.
Will that happen in the morning? That's what I was trying to figure out, if you had pulled out from services or orchestra, since the day of the week can rotate, but will it happen consistently like in the morning? Like
Yes, right away.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it'll
right
be
away.
their
Right away.
job when they get to school in the morning. And then we always post it in our classrooms as well. So we'll try and follow up with students who, if it does happen to fall on day 3, which is band and orchestra day, then we'll follow up with those students to make sure that they're copying it from the wall.
And also, we email it to you and we post it on our websites.
Very good.
So we have a lot, I mean, it's all over. So when they say, I didn't know there was homework, well, well, no excuse. So you didn't want to talk about the agenda or no?
Sure.
There was
Can
a
we go back?
slide, this one.
I think it goes
You don't see
with
the colors very well.
Yeah, that's the agenda.
that goes with the homework list.
You don't want to present it now?
But I can, but it doesn't work. Okay, so here's the thing. On the homework list, there are colors.
Oh, sure.
And you go by the video.
On the homework list, there are colors, and each subject has a color. So to make it easier, we ask students to have the colors in the agenda too. So in the agenda, it's laid out the same way that it is on the homework list. That's why you saw colors on the agenda, and you will see just in a little bit of time
There it
here.
is.
So you see black, blue, green, red, orange, and brown. I have my colors right in English. Good. Now the same colors are in the agenda. That just helps to follow what's happening. See.
To reiterate, the day it's on the agenda is the day it's student.
Yes, do.
And also, it's also on the website. If you go on the website, it says that. It says if it's written for September 4th, it is due September 4th. So if you ever forget, which can happen, it's there on the website. The agenda goes in the Trapper Keeper. The Trapper Keeper goes home every day and back to school every day. So this way, if there's something you want to look up in the agenda, you can have it at home, we can have it here, we can add something in the agenda if we need to. Let's say your child didn't do his homework, her homework, I can write note. Make sure to bring homework from yesterday, something like that.
So on Tuesdays, the homework list is what? Emailed out to us, and how does that work?
Yes, so on Tuesday it will be, the students will copy it in their agenda.
Okay.
It will be on the website on Tuesdays.
After school.
After school, after school usually, or maybe Wednesday morning, but it goes for 8 days, so that shouldn't be an issue. And it will be emailed to you on Tuesdays or Wednesday morning too. That will be the case going on.
We really encourage students to write it down.
Yeah.
It's a good skill to have because sometimes, oh, my mom is going to print it, so.
That's the idea. We could not do it, but we take time in the classroom to have the students practice the skill to actually look up something and being able to read a schedule, to use an agenda. Next year they'll have different teachers, and they may have to look up information in different websites. So if they have everything in one place, that's the idea, and how to use an agenda. So we take the time to teach students to learn the skill. If your student is absent, sick for any reason, it's on the website. It's also emailed to you. Yes. That's the best we can do.
Oh,
Transportation.
yep. So transportation and absences. This is information that we wanted to share with you, that the office asked us to share with you. If you know your child is going to be absent, please make sure to call the attendance line. Same if your child might be late to school, call the attendance line so that they have that information. If you know that your student is going to be gone from school, if it's a planned absence, there's a planned absence form that's really easy to access on the Normandale website under a link that I think is called Information and Forms. And then your child, you fill out the form, your child brings that to their homeroom teacher, we sign it, we turn it into the office. And so then the office knows that that's a planned absence. End of the day procedure, just reiterating, this is not new, but just reiterating that students must exit from door 1. Those are the doors by the office. Even if they're riding their bike and their bike is parked downstairs, like they still need to exit. Everyone's entering and exiting through that door just for safety reasons. And then notes are helpful when your student has a change in transportation, just because it can be kind of there can be a lot to remember in a day, and it's nice if we have that information too, so that we can follow up. Or if we see that child sitting on the carpet and parent pickup has already left, we can say, remember your parent pickup, off you go. And last minute changes on transportation. So we don't always have a chance to check our email during the day, and so any last minute changes in transportation should just go through the office. Just plan on that. They're so good about getting notes to us. They are on top of their game. And so if you realize that you forgot and there's a dentist appointment, or you're coming to pick your child up at the end of the day where usually they would be on the bus, please just let the office know, and they will definitely get that information. They will walk it down to us. So it's a really nice service we have here at Normandale. Next. Okay.
That's also you.
Okay, that's also. So we communicate as a team. Every Friday we'll send you a Friday update that will communicate information to you about events that are coming up or important things to know. It's our way of checking in with you. So we do our very best. We send you an email on Tuesday with the homework list, and then we do our very best to save other important information for the Friday update so that you're not bombarded with 10 million emails from us as 5th grade teachers. So please read the Friday update, because we do put a lot of important information in there, and we try to bullet it or number it so that it's not a really long read. Right. We also have a monthly newsletter that we'll send out that will keep you up to date on the curriculum that we're doing in 5th grade. There's questions that you can ask your student, and I think it's a really nice way to stay engaged with what's happening in the classroom. So those questions will always be relevant to the topics that we're studying in 5th grade. Our teacher websites, our teacher websites are pretty well aligned, and so if your student is in Kiel homeroom, the information they might need for French language arts is on my website, because it's linked to Madame Skoll's website. So she updates her website, and that automatically gets linked to my website. So you should have a one-stop shop. If you're in Kiel homeroom, then what your student needs from our 4 classrooms is on that website, and that's true of all of us. The email is always the best way to be in touch with us. And if you want to be in touch via email to set up a one-on-one meeting, or you just want to check in, we're always happy to do that as well, but it's always a good initial point of contact. Website demo, is that you, Mr. Tom?
Please. Right. Is the website on?
Sure.
What I'll show you really is homework and weekly schedule. There will be a link live at some point for the conference sign up and for the volunteer sign up too, and we will email you when those links are live. But homework is live, and weekly schedule too. I'm just going to show you where it is. The idea is you know where to get information. We also teach students how to find information, but in case they forget, then you'll know too.
This is what Edina Public Schools likes to call living in beta, when you have to be patient with technology. But speaking of technology in 5th grade, all students we have one-to-one Chromebook, so they have access to Chromebooks in any of the 4 classrooms. But they don't go home with them. They stay at school. But they've been a really fabulous resource to us in 5th grade. Okay.
So there should be school somewhere, but it's gonna come here.
Here. Hey.
Alright, so it's Normandale.
And your student, 99% sure your student knows how to get to teacher websites.
Academics.
There are different ways. Academic is good. And if you scroll down, Facebook is at the bottom.
Oh man, I'm so trying. It's ancient.
And
Where would you like to go to yours?
oh yeah. Alright. You'll find a link for every classes, but homework is here. Want to click on that?
So it's under, there's parent links and student links. It takes you to the exact same spot. So if you're a parent and you want to click on homework, you're going to see the same thing as if you were a student and you clicked on homework.
So it's explaining it, it's due the day it's written, maybe it's too small to read, but basically it says if it's written September 4th, it's due September 4th. That's the homework list. There will be study guides and math practice tests at some point. They will be at the bottom. Not here right now, but they will. So if for any reason didn't get the email and the agenda is not home or your student was absent, then you can find also the homework there. This is the French practice resources. You want me to talk about that currently?
No, just another example of a resource that they might find.
Students will have opportunity to review online to practice in the classroom, but at home too if they want to for French tests. So you can click on that for each test. There is a page. You can click on this one, for instance.
Which one?
Here. It's updated every week. There's a new page, and you can listen to the words. You can practice with the list. If it's verb, there are links when they can practice the verbs in French. There are different activities to do. And you have access anyway. Whoever your homeroom teacher is, you can access that. And the weekly schedule is there too. Here.
Sorry, where are you pointing?
And so you can see the specialist classes. You have the rotating schedule here with all the days. Yes?
So with the French word
Yep.
spelling test or vocabulary, is there going to be a link or is there going to be information saying it's list number 37? Or whatever, or list, you know.
What
here's the
happens?
link.
We'll also
Alright, let's
give
go back
them.
on it.
We'll also give them a green folder with all the list of vocabulary and verbs, and they will write down in their agenda, French spelling test next week, such and such day, and we'll give the title of the test.
And
If
then
your
you can
computer
find it there.
is
Yeah.
out, it's on paper at home in a folder that they will take that home. However, if you want to practice, there are ways to practice online. For verbs, for instance, there are different links when you can practice the verbs, different websites.
I think the question is how will they know what to practice? And so these
Okay.
guys will put
On the
in the
homework
homework
list,
list.
on the
They'll say
homework list.
test mots fréquents.
Ah.
And also it says le test de la semaine, the test of the week for
Yes.
this week. That's where they'll go. They'll go here.
Okay, so that means that's for the week.
Yeah.
That's for the year.
Gotcha.
So every week that's updated for the right one. You don't have to look at that.
Okay,
It's right on the left.
just quick.
Yeah.
And then we'll bring to the right page every single week.
And everyone gets the same French spelling.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Everyone gets the same test the same week. Maybe not the same day, but
Same week for sure.
same week.
Do you want to
Schedule, I don't know if it was clear for everyone, weekly schedule.
It's just we're running a little behind.
Yeah, we were.
Okay.
I think the weekly schedule. If you have questions about it, I think maybe the best is to go home and look at it tonight, and then see if you have additional questions and check in with us if you do.
It should make sense.
It should. All right, so we feel like Classroom Information Night is really a way to help you understand process and procedure in 5th grade, but we also wanted to touch just briefly on curriculum so you know what we're doing in terms of curriculum in 5th grade. Okay, so language arts, we are really moving forward, making an effort to align French language arts and English language arts. So what we're doing in English language arts, Madame Batham and I, our colleagues, Mr. Talon and Madame Skold, they're reinforcing that in French and vice versa. And so we're not going to talk about French language arts and English language arts, but more language arts. In reading, there's always an emphasis on comprehension strategies, reading fluency, and vocabulary development in both languages. So that might happen in whole group activities, small group instruction, or we might be targeting individual learning needs. With writing, in English, in English and French, I'll just say this, there's going to be a slower implementation or more gradual implementation in French, but we are adopting a new writing curriculum in French and English. It's a curriculum called Being a Writer, and we've started. It's really fabulous. Students are really engaged. There's a very different level of engagement with this writing curriculum, and it really emphasizes creating a writing community. And so far so good. It seems like it's going to be a really good fit for us. And so we'll be working on different genres of writing using that writing curriculum. And that will include personal narrative, informative, I'm missing the third, the how-tos. Persuasive. Yeah, that's the third one, thank you. And then, but English spelling and French spelling is the thing that will still be a little bit different, because in English spelling we use words their way. And Words Their Way is more of a word study. It's a phonics, vocabulary, and spelling-based curriculum, but it's designed to meet each learner where they're at. And so it's not just one big list of words. It's meant to help students get to that next step wherever they're at in their understanding of spelling in the English language. So there will be different word studies, there will be different groups for that, but that information is also on our websites and is well explained on the website. So if you ever have any questions or concerns about English spelling, there will be tests on a weekly basis, and we'll let you know when we get that up and running. So there will be an English spelling test on a weekly basis as well as a French spelling test on a weekly basis. And you kind of saw what the French spelling test looked like. It's going to be, if I understand, you alternate between
alternate between high frequency words and then verbs, and they will take the pre-test online on the Chromebook, and you will be sent the results right away. So don't panic when you see the score for the pre-test, because that's just practice. And so
great.
The pre-test is a way to assess where students are at. Depending on their score, they know what to practice for the test. You will get the results from the pre-test, and you will get the results from the test as well by email the day of or the day after the test or the pre-test has been taken.
And we should emphasize that we only can send it to one email.
So social studies, what I'll say really briefly is that, oh yeah, by the video, is that we have, strands we hit standards within the areas of citizenship and government, geography, economics, where it's making decisions, how people make decisions, how to be a good consumer, and then history. We start with the European explorers, actually early Native Americans, and then we go through early American history, so about 1812 is where we end. And the thing that we really have been focusing on, that we'll be focusing on with your fifth graders, is having your fifth graders be critical thinkers when they look at history. So using multiple perspectives, learning how to evaluate a source, and really questioning, how do I know what I know? Where else can I go to get more information? How can I get the full picture here? And kids really love that when you get to sort of pick apart a resource or say, like, what's missing from this. That's really engaging for them, and it's a really great skill for them to have as they launch into middle school and the rest of their academic careers. Yay!
Yep.
Okay, science. We have that's also a very interesting subject to teach. We have these 4 units: variables, levers and pulleys, landforms, and environments. Mr. Talon will start with variables, and we'll start with levers and pulleys next week. So it's really based on a lot of experiments. We put them in groups, and they will take notes from the flip chart, and then we encourage them to do their observations. First of all, predictions, observations, and then the conclusion. And we have a lot of fun teaching science. So these are the 4 units.
Health, we'll let you know when the health unit is approaching. We're all year long we're talking about dealing with feelings, dealing with stress, appropriate response to stress. And then the big health unit in 5th grade is the family life unit, and we always let you know when that's coming up. That will happen in the spring.
You're going to talk about
math. What you want to know about math? There's a math journal that you will never see. It's standard classroom. We work on it. I want to start saying that actually we flex group in math. Next slide, right?
Do you want me to go
Maybe
forward and then
you
back?
can do that. I don't know what's in here. So we do flex groups, students. The way it works, we take a pre-test before the unit to see where the students are at. Depending on where they're at, they go in a group that will meet their needs. We are a team of teachers, 4 of us. We have 2 interns working with us, and we have also specialists and specialists working with us. And so we have several groups, and the groups change depending on the pre-test results. So they may change during the year. If you're amazing in division but you forgot to do multiplication, you may be in a different group depending on the unit. assessments. You'll have plenty of tests in 5th grade. Yay! You have the standardized test, MCS, maps. You have the unit tests. You have the practice test before the unit test to make sure you're gonna score well on your unit test. You have the time test if needed to practice math facts. So already you're gonna have a lot of fun. Before. And what you're gonna see in math is the study link. It's like the Wheel of Fortune I have in the system here. Displaying the study link. He never goes to school, he stays at home. The thing that goes to school is the page. So it doesn't get lost, it doesn't get forgotten on the bus. You don't have to carry so much weight. You bring the right page on the due date. Same with the skills link. There are 2 different homework books, and both stay at home. They are used. You can have fun with them. But we want to see the right page on the right day. And there is a reference book, the SRB, student reference book, that explains all the concepts. There's a glossary index, so if for some reason your student missed a lesson and really has homework the day after and forgot what equilateral triangle is, it's right there. You can find definition, you can find where it's explained in the book, so it's in English, it's there.
But I have a feeling that students, if they don't understand the concept, they will not go on their own to this book. They won't. I just have this feeling.
They literally, there are kids in my class who are like, yeah, I'll take this for my parents. Like, because they think that you guys need it more than they do. So I encourage them.
So I think it's really a book for you also to look at.
It's a family book.
It's a family book. Bonding book.
Yes, sir.
This one is supposed to stay at home?
It stays
Yes,
at home.
until the month of May, end of May, we'll ask you to give them back to us.
You want to share it, this book, as your own kid, because if you don't, you have to bring it in a different state that it was given to you. I think it's $25, and who wants to do it? In math too, there are 2 different websites we use. One is IXL. It's explained here. It's a very good website. You can practice at home. We use it at school too for these reasons. Extra Math is for students who still need to practice math facts. The way it works every day. All the students I had who did it every day walked out of it and graduated and managed math facts. If you don't, it gets tricky. So it is hard to do it every day? Yes. It has to be for like a few minutes every day. It's not 10, it's not 20, it's like 5 about. If you can manage, I'm in awe in front of you because I don't know how to manage that, but that's the way it is. It's every single day, a few minutes.
And that's something that is easily forgotten.
You
to
will
practice.
know who needs that. You will know who needs that. You will have the login. You will have everything. Not every student needs that. Yes.
The IXL, using the actual dollars. This year, how do we do that? And how do we know which part of the IXL online?
On the website, on the math page, it's a good question. If you go on the website, right now the website is not the right page because we just started, but it will be the right page. If you go on my website under math, it's at the end. For instance, you will have here the skills to practice on IXL, and if you click on the skill, it goes to the website.
One by one. They go through the schedule.
For each unit, you will will post this for each unit.
It will be updated for each unit, and yes, all of them should be mastered. Usually we work on it in the classroom, and sometimes it's homework, but it's right here. The idea, yeah.
Well, and I just wanted to show that because today's students practice logging in using their username and password. So they know to go in through our website because Edina Public Schools has a subscription. And we can see when students log in through our portal, then we can see the minutes that they're spending on IXL, and we can see which concepts where the concepts where they're really successful and the concepts where they might still be struggling. So we really encourage them to access it that way. A lot of times kids just want to Google search it, but then we don't see what's happening. So
So this is part of the assignment, just part of that practice.
This will be assignment sometimes as homework. It might say practice IXL. And then that's how you find it, where you find it.
Celebrations.
Sorry.
It's not only homework, it's also in the classroom sometimes.
So celebrations for fall party will be October 30th. Usually it's around 1:30, I think, or 1:45 party starts. What that time? Winter party will be December 18th. Friendship party, February 12th, and then graduation is on June 3rd. Field trips, we have a math day at the Minnesota Zoo on November 4th. That's really a fun day. Kids really like that. They do math problems that other people, or I think it's
Other students.
Other students, yes. And it's related to animals and you know how much food they eat per whatever per day. Or the March 1st, we'll go to the Works in Bloomington. That's also linked to our curriculum with electricity and levers and pulleys. There's a lot of activity there. And in May, we'll go to Fort Snelling on May 5th. Valley View Middle School, we are not sure about the date yet. And then Monsieur Talon organizes this beautiful, wonderful French dinner at the restaurant chez Daniel.
I cook everything myself.
He cooks everything.
All right. Questions?
You said earlier that you were sending the test results every week.
So I was speaking about the French pre-test and test, and yes, you will get the French pre-test results and the test results every week.
So how do we make sure that we have the right email address?
Because
So I got your email from IQ. I picked one. If it's not the one you like, you can email me, please change it. And I'll
but
change
on
it.
the point of contact, we ask you what is your preferred email to receive tests, and people have put their preferred email address.
So when do we, just to make sure if we
We're going to start next
when
week
should
with the
we
pre-test.
be starting?
Next week with the pre-test.
Next week, the first pre-test, and the test will be a week after.
So maybe in our Friday update next week, we should mention to parents, or even this week, we could
This
mention
week.
to parents, next week, be looking for a pre-test, an email that will include pre-test results from your child's French spelling test.
Like a back-to-back, like a trip to France. There is, so we work with a company called ISE. It's a nonprofit who organizes outside of Normandale's bounds, but with our kids and some of our teachers as chaperones, but not connected to the school. Saying it on video. School board, yes. But so yes, there is a trip. It will happen in June, and details are soon coming. Details are soon coming.
Got it. Okay, and then can I just have one question, comment, thing? The Friday emails are wonderful. They occasionally don't get read until maybe Sunday, and if something needs to happen on Monday, not so good. So if we could try to give us at least a week, that would be great. If we need to bring something in or do something, that would be wonderful.
Absolutely. Anything, we do try to be conscious of that. Anything that we might need from you or from your student, that might be, we try to put it in the homework list if it's something that needs to come back to school.
Homework list.
Like picture day,
Got it?
we put it on the homework list. Picture day is on
Monday.
so it's on the homework list.
Yep. So we try to think a week in advance like that.
And if there is a field trip, it will all be also on the
I just made
homework list.
something that goes to Target.
Oh. For an email that we sent?
No.
Okay. Yeah, at our house, we always celebrate the one day that we're not at Target. Right. Other questions?
So the spelling tests, do they write them or do they
Type.
type them, both French and English?
I don't know about English.
English is written because we're trying to understand if they are understanding the rule. So not just how to spell the word. That's a little bit. How to spell the word is actually secondary. The understanding why the word works the way it does. What part? How? Why is it? What rule is it following in the English language? And so for that, we have to We haven't found a way. Some teachers do spellingcity.com, and that will assess whether or not they know how to spell the word, but it doesn't assess if they understand the rule. So for the English spelling paper, the English spelling test right now, we're still doing it on paper because we feel like we can better assess our students that way. In this instance, it doesn't feel like technology is helpful. It feels like we get less feedback on how well they're understanding the rules. Ooh, how did we miss that?
Miss what? What did we miss?
Blue Binder.
Oh,
Yeah. Who wants to?
So
you go.
every so often, not always not always every week, but as we start getting your students start building a repertoire of tests and assessments, they will all live in what we call the Blue Binder. It is a Blue Binder, and we'll send it home on Fridays, and we like it to come back the following Monday. That it's a place for any paper assessments like spelling tests or math unit tests. That's where they'll all stay, so we can track student progress. We can bring them out at conferences, things like that. They're, yeah, it's just a place where all the assessments will live.
and make sure to look at the tests. That's another area. I don't think sometimes parents don't, I mean, they're too busy or they don't look at the test.
Yeah, so I'll say one more thing. We forgot that we're going to include it in the next, but you also will get, after a math unit test, an email with a feedback saying, for each category of question, what your score was, your student score, and also if it wasn't high enough to meet the expectation, how to practice those skills, and where to go and how to practice them. So you'll get that as an email in the PDF for any student. But you also have the Blue Binder in case you want to take a look at the test itself. Because you have the feedback, let's say division, grade multiplication, not yet, you can practice here, here, and here. You click on the link and you can practice. But if you want to see the mistakes, if you want to see the good answer, if you want to see what the question was, you also have the test in the Blue Binders.
And just to, I'm not supposed to take anything out of the Blue Binder. I have been known to recycle things.
Ah, no, you should not.
No, no.
You would deal with there.
But thank you for asking the question.
Because we can.
Yeah.
I missed something with there's a light blue paper stapled together.
Yeah, this one
What
is called
that?
Skills
Yeah.
Link, and maybe once a week or twice a week, it depends. Students will have to do homework in this same concept. They will do their, they will tear the page and bring the page back.
And sometimes it's half the page. So there's skills link A and skills link B.
Well, it goes by set, like for instance, set 2 is set 2A, set 2B. Set 3, there is no E, it's set 3 and then set 4A, they're on the same page.
And sometimes there's not enough room for all the answers. It asks for a sheet of paper to write the answers, but it goes together.
Right.
And that's
That'll
really
be on the homework sheet.
Yes, yes.
It'll be called skills link. It'll say SLM if it's from there. And we'll go
SLM.
over this with your kids. It'll be SLM if it's from there, and it'll be called skills link if it's from there.
They're very confusing, these
They're
two
both
names.
blue and they both start with S.
Yeah.
SLM.
Yeah, and it's
Skills.
written here, Skills Link.
And the skills link is basic review, whereas the SLM is directly related to the lesson that we've done in class the day previous.
Do you bring anything back from that, or you just leave everything in there and just work on it at home?
Break the page.
Bring
They'll
the,
rip the
because
page
it
up.
will be assigned as homework. This is for homework.
Break the page.
Because our goal is to have daily homework for our students, and sometimes, like for example, if we're doing review in class, and then we're doing a pre-test, and then a practice test, and then a unit test, there's not homework related to a lesson. And so to supplement and to keep kids thinking and reviewing, we're taking from the skills link, the paper packet. And we're keeping them engaged in that homework process. So it's useful homework. They're getting feedback on what they're doing, and it's also a review of basic skills.
And I just want to add something about the, to study for the French spelling test. It's very important to do it on a regular basis, maybe at least 4 or 5 times a week. Because what happens is they get the list, they go to the website maybe the day before the test, and that's too late. They have to practice on a regular basis these words and the verbs. And
One more question before we finish? Who's excited that they're 5th graders in 5th grade? Yay! It is really a fun year. All 4 of us truly enjoy teaching 5th grade. We're super happy to have your 5th grader with us this year. It's already been a great start to the year.
Yes.
We can honestly say that. So thank you for being part of our journey.
Yes, touching on that, there's a time and a place for everything. Maybe this isn't it. But
We'll let you know.
I just wanted to plant the seed if maybe 5th grade culmination could be a little more exciting when they graduate. I don't want if that sounds, but I went to my niece's graduation, and their whole 5th grade class sang like that. I almost touched the ground. It was like so fun. And
Have you been to 5th
these?
in Normandale? You have?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ours here was really fun.
5 years ago.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
When I went last, they just passed out like a paper thing, and then the kids had to return it at the end.
Oh, yeah, that's because when they hold on to, they're super nervous, and when they hold on to their diplomas, they roll them, or crinkle them, or fold them. And so in order to preserve their diploma, the evidence of their hard work, we put a fresh, safe copy in an envelope for them. But
What do you guys do?
there's a whole committee of parents. Maybe that's something that you could check in with them, is maybe you want to be part of the planning. Because there's a whole committee of parents that really head up the 5th grade celebration. And they really do an amazing job. So you could definitely check in with them to see if there might be a way for you to contribute. Maybe you have some ideas that you want to share.
We do like a breakfast the morning of for all the parents. Really fun. They do the dinner. I think last year they did different area, but I think last year there was an entire party at like a park with all the families and stuff. And then what did they do last year?
There's breakfast celebration.
Big Thrill Factory. It is a big deal. It's a big deal. There's a lot that goes on.
A video. It's like amazing.
Yeah, there's speakers.
I know we have to wrap up because we have a new group